Hi, my name's Claire. In case you're new here, my husband Jeremy and I run this little YouTube channel called For Real. We live in Siem Reap, Cambodia, and we love it. We make videos so you can see what our lives are like here in Siem Reap. We hope they're helpful, and if you're planning a move here in the future, you should watch some of our older videos. We've got plenty of playlists and other ones that you might find helpful. In this video though, I'm going to give you my 7 reasons why we think you should retire to Siem Reap, Cambodia right now. This video is not about why you should choose Cambodia, rather it's about why right now is a very good time to make the move. Some of you out there need a little bit of tough love in that department, and that's what this video is all about. If you're watching this, you've probably decided on Cambodia or at least narrowed your choice to a few places and your shortlist includes Cambodia. Either way, this video is for you. Okay, let's get started with the list. Number 1. Cambodia's E-type visa plus retirement extension is still the easiest and least expensive option for a long stay in the region for retirees. Will this current situation last forever? Who knows? So why not take advantage of it right now while it's available? Let's run through how it works. As you might be aware, Cambodia does not have an actual retirement visa. You'll need to enter Cambodia on an E-type visa or an ordinary visa. Once you're in Cambodia on your E-type visa, you can go to a travel agent and apply for a retirement extension. You can get either a 1-month, 3-month, 6-month or 12-month extension, but I would always opt for the 12-month extension because it's the longest one possible. I mean, why go through the process more often than you need to, right? Also, the 6 and 12-month options are multiple entry. Extending your visa will cost you around $300. So with the initial visa, your cost for the year is less than $350. In subsequent years, it will only be $300 because you won't need the initial E-type visa. In terms of requirements for the retirement extension, there is only one, and that is to be 55 years of age or older. Nothing else is required. No insurance, no proof of income, no regular check-ins, nothing. How easy is that? So if you're 55, what are you waiting for? It's virtually impossible for this system to become any easier or less expensive. Let's look at the second reason why you should retire to Siem Reap, Cambodia right now. Rental prices have not returned to pre-COVID levels. Let me explain. During the pandemic, many long-term expats left Cambodia, as you would expect, and this led to an unprecedented number of vacant apartments. Landlords who are fortunate enough to still have tenants decrease their rents in a bid to keep them from jumping to properties with lower rents and better facilities. This happened to us and many people we know. Advertised rentals became much less expensive. Then, over the next couple of years, 2 more things happened. The number of expats in Siem Reap did not bounce back to what it was pre-COVID, and heaps of new apartment buildings were constructed. So now we have a market that is virtually flooded with vacant apartments, and this is keeping prices well below what they were in 2019. For example, in late 2019, when we first arrived the first time, we viewed an apartment that was advertised for $500, and that same apartment is now renting to friends of ours for just over $300. This is a very common scenario, and all of the agents in town will tell you this. It's such a contrast to how things are back in Australia, where the availability of housing is so low that the situation is at crisis point. Here you have the luxury of choosing between, let's say, several hundred apartments, whereas back home you'd be one of several hundred applicants for each and every property. Rents are going up hundreds of dollars, and rent is charged by the week in Australia, so we're talking increases of $200 a week, several times a year. It's a staggering amount of increased cash that people are just expected to accept. People are so scared they won't be able to find an alternative property, they have no choice but to pay. I know the situation is similar in the US. You'd have to think that for a small percentage of people, living in a place like Cambodia will become a more and more attractive option. Anyway, moving on to a lighter topic. It's low season, so there are heaps of great deals around. It's the rainy season, but don't let that deter you from planning an imminent arrival. Hotel rates are low, so you can stay in style for your first week or even your first month while you find your feet. I've put together some examples for you from Booking.com. For consistency, I used the date I uploaded this video, which is Sunday, the 27th of August. These are all proper rooms, so not dormitories, and they have private bathrooms, so no shared bathrooms. And all of the properties that I'll show you, these 3, have pools. First up, we'll have a look at Ravun Angkor Boutique. It has a rating of 8.1 and comes in at just $8 per night. I think it looks pretty good for that price. It's small and probably family run. This is good because you'll be able to talk to the family there and get some local knowledge. You would be very surprised how many people have a friend of a friend who has a great apartment for rent, for example. You'll find out things through talking to those people that you won't find out through Facebook groups or agencies. Next up, we have a mid-range option called a Blossoming Romdal Boutique. It has a rating of 8.1 as well. Looks like a nice pool area, and this one even includes breakfast for $14. It's located only 500 meters from Pub Street, so a very walkable location too. I thought I'd show you a 5-star option as well. Here we have the Boutique Indochine de Angkor. Its review score is a whopping 9.6, and a deluxe double with terrace and a city view will set you back just $24. So there is indeed something for every budget, and you can have a very nice start to your life here without breaking the bank. Which one would you choose of those three? It's not just hotel rooms either. There are great options to travel around the kingdom right now before settling in Siem Reap or the location of your choice. Who knows? You might come over here with your heart set on Siem Reap, then visit Kep and decide that the slow beachside life is perfect fit for you. There are fewer tourists here right now, and that means businesses are doing all they can to attract the dollars that are out there. Number 4, prices around town have not increased and are still very low. If you watch our video where we find 23 things that cost $1 or less here in Siem Reap, you'll see that many of the prices of the items shown have not increased in the last 5 or so years. I'll leave a link in case you missed that particular video. Just to recap though, you can get an iced coffee for as little as 60 cents, a wide range of food items for less than $1, and the 50-cent beer is still quite easy to find. Also, don't forget the amazing coconut waffles at 3 for just under $1. Number 5, bit of a serious turn now. The world is an unpredictable place. How many of you had your plans messed up by COVID? Ours certainly were. Who could have predicted that international travel would pretty much shut down for 2 years? One thing the pandemic has taught us, and something we must never forget, is how quickly things can change on a global scale. With everything that's going on in the world right now, if retiring in Siem Reap is your dream, don't put it off any longer. None of us know what is around the corner. Climate change, global conflict, natural disasters, pandemics. If this is something you really want to do, don't wait. Number 6, there is no perfect time. I'm sure you've heard the stories of people who worked all their lives, were about to retire and do all of the things they dreamed of, only to get sick and ultimately die without doing any of those things. Of course, I'm not saying this will happen to you, and I'm sorry if this seems a little morbid. What I am saying though is to be very careful about delaying your move because you're trying to put away as much money as possible. You know how it goes. Another few thousand and I'll have enough. Another 5,000 and I'll book my flight. But how much is enough? And at what point do you stop and draw the line in the sand? Only you can answer that, but do give it some thought. Planning is essential, and having a solid chunk of cash beside you is sensible, of course, but don't get caught up dotting every single I and crossing every single T. If you take this approach, you will always be waiting for the next saving goal, while the real goal, which is retiring in Siem Reap, just gets further and further and further away. I had to work really hard on this one because it's my nature to try and plan for every eventuality. But guess what? You can't. You cannot plan for everything that might happen. Planning is wonderful, but it's okay to add a little bit of risk to the mix, if that makes sense. After all, staying in your home country to earn more money is also not without risk if you think about it. Number 7. Get here before the new airport opens. In just 7 weeks, the new Siem Reap International Airport will open. This means the end of the 10-minute tuk-tuk ride from the airport to your hotel. If you've never arrived in Siem Reap by air, plan a trip before the 16th of October so you can experience what is possibly the most quaint and laid-back international airport on the entire planet. Many of us expats are going to miss arriving and departing from it, and it holds some very fond memories for a lot of people. In case you don't know, the new airport is a lot further from Siem Reap town. We rode out to the new site and made a video about it, so if you're curious, you can check out that video. It's about 60 kilometres from town compared to 7 kilometres with the existing airport. We're still waiting for information about how people are going to be transferred from the airport to town. We're assuming there will be buses, but I think it is safe to assume that the free airport transfers that used to be offered by hotels will be a thing of the past. It's just too far and too much of an expense for hotels to carry, particularly given that tourist numbers are still not what they were pre-COVID. So book a flight now and enjoy the convenience while you can. So there you have it. 7 reasons why, if you've been considering retiring to Siem Reap, Cambodia, there's no better time than right now. I hope you didn't mind me giving you a bit of that tough love that some of you need. And if you have been planning it, take the steps, book the flight, get over here. Leave us a comment down below so we know how your planning is going and when your estimated arrival date will be. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.